Hey, welcome back. I'm Chris. This is Steve. I'm with Homestead Tech Talk. He's American Dad from. You do shotguns. It's great.
Yeah, I'm a shotgun guy.
Yeah, he's a shotgun guy. Um, so this will be part 4 in the Reloading Basics series. Part 1, we loaded some rounds. We loaded a Scott Satterley's 10-round ladder load. We fired it, and we got a accuracy node. Part 2, we loaded some up at 23.1 grains of S&P 842. Fired them. We didn't get the desired results. Part 3, I reweighed everything, reloaded them in a hotel. It sucked, but we're there. And now we're going to fire those rounds. Now I've got some other rounds that I loaded as well. I'll explain the difference between those later. But for now, you're going to want to also get your rifle ready after this one.
Yep.
But we're going to use my rifle first.
Yeah, focus on yours.
Yep. And then we'll get Steve set up after that and get his shooting.
Where did the here you go. Okay. Aim at the top left target.
Top left.
Top left, and I'll label them. That way we can just compare later.
All right. Hopefully we got something good. I'm verifying I'm within the chronograph. I am.
Oh, we gotta find these two. Daggone it.
What?
I'm gonna watch the brass, and then I'll go ahead.
Shit.
Really? Okay.
Is that 2962? Is that
Yep.
accurate?
That's what it says.
Okay. Unload. Clear it.
All right. 2962.
Yeah. There you go. Reset the target.
Here.
We're back. That's not good. I don't think I read that first one. I think that was from the last one.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll see. I'll put a star beside it if it's 2847. So I'll put a star beside that. 2904. 2839.
That's it.
Okay.
That's weird. So I used the same primers too.
Yeah.
I reloaded some with different primers. We'll find out if that's the problem. Top right.
Hopefully it catches this and doesn't not catch it.
Yeah. Top right. Fuck me. Oh, that was the test one anyway, so.
Okay. Well. $27.41. Go ahead. 26.77. 2666. 2745. 2715.
I can see them. They're all grouped pretty good.
Are they?
Yep.
Those went forward too. I can hear the radio station today.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear it the other day. My ears weren't good enough.
Rasta.
All right.
All right. So Steve's gonna get his rifle, and he's gonna also shoot the 62 grains, and then I'm gonna have him shoot the ones with the new primers, and we're gonna see if that makes a difference. So far, what we have, and I'll show you our numbers. Asterisk for the top left because I think the chronograph didn't pick it up. So 2855, 2847, 2904, 2839. Not bad numbers except for that 2904 is a little bit high. And then we got 2741, 2677, which is weird. Now, that could also be because I'm running a suppressor, and you usually get a first round pop. 2666, 2745, 2715. Those aren't great. We'll crunch the numbers and we'll find out. Now I'm going to calculate for Steve.
All right. So you, the only thing I don't like about.
I'm going to go ahead and throw my glasses on.
What the? All right, here you go. You ready?
Hopefully she picks it up. If not, we're going to have to run the IR. Ready.
Ready.
We are ready. I saw it fly right by me and I lost it.
Well, watch where this next one goes.
All right. $27.54. Hang on. Yep, we're running into problems with those again. And I saw it, it hit my rifle. Here it is. And the brass looks good.
All right.
And the brass looks good. So I know right where they're going. I can sit back down and
Are you ready?
we are ready.
Nope, it's off. I had it right on it too, man.
All good. 2787. 2920. 2912. $27.92.
So they're not nearly as close.
Not nearly as close. What if the camera picked that up?
What's that?
That brass
That
hit me
probably-
straight in the fucking face.
That'll be a good slow-mo for your.
Hot brass, hot brass.
That'll be a great slow-mo.
Well, I got two. I haven't found the one that gave me the money shot yet.
Well, probably.
There it is.
Now,
And the brass looks good. Now these are the ones that these have a new primer. I think I confused the primers on those. And when I reloaded them with those old primers, I think those were the primers that were in my press for a long time.
No.
Like when it was sitting in your garage.
Oh.
And I think that's the problem. So we're going to see if the new primers, these are fresh, brand new CCI primers.
Okay.
Small rifle, number 400s.
Okay.
And we're going to see if they work.
See if they solve our problem.
See if they
All right.
solve our problems.
Here we go. Bottom right target. I'm going to be curious to see how the accuracy is, though. All right. Hopefully it catches all these.
And we are ready. It's the last volley. We got to make it happen.
Okay, here we go. Well, now my ears are going to be ringing the rest of the day.
Oh shit. Saw it shoot across my head, so it'll go land in that neat little pile again. Error 2. Damn it. we got to come up with a new solution. $27.66. $28.25. Something ain't quite right with these. Still. $27.65. So it's they're going back and forth. I wish we would have had those other two. We got four freaking velocities.
That's
But the fact of the matter is, it's not a solid bullet. It has a steel penetrator in it, so they're not going to be super duper accurate. I did find two pieces of brass here. I'll have to crunch the numbers and put them in an Excel.
yeah. Put them. I'm curious.
Those aren't.
Look, I mean, you got 3 in the 29s and then 3 in the 27s. That's a full 100 feet per second difference, nearly.
Yeah, it's odd.
That's not good.
It's very odd.
Here, that's yours.
Thank you. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen of the thing,
YouTubeverse.
So here's our final results. So we had better results with the new primers. From what I can tell, it's still close to 90 feet per second difference on this one. This one's well over 100 feet per second extreme spread. Mine is, still floating 26, 27s. There's still an 80 feet per second extreme spread there. And here,
Minus that
8s and 9s.
That was incorrect.
Yeah, 8, 8, 9. So there's, at least a 50 feet per second, at least a 49 feet per second extreme spread there. So these numbers aren't great for what we're looking for. They will work for.
They're better than what they were, I think, aren't they?
They're a hell of a lot better than what they were. Let's go take a look at the target.
They strung horizontally almost perfect on that first group on mine.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And that can be from barrel heating
they're
too.
They're almost touching.
We did shoot these quick, so that could also be from barrel heating.
Now that's much better from last time. Look at that. Those two are touching.
So the new primers.
We just had that one right there, and I knew
that's a little over 1 inch at 60 yards. That's
I mean, that's
just over an MOA,
but
it's better than what it was.
I think we can do better.
I think we can do better too.
Look at that.
These are my 75 grains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got 5 of them almost touching. That was me. I did that. I knew I did that when I did it.
So look at the difference between this one and that one.
So, and to explain this, so this is probably about 4 MOA group ish. And that's not very good, but that is those are M855 rounds. They have a steel penetrator in them, so it's possible that they're not gyroscopically stable.
Now, are these the same one?
Yeah, all these are. So, but yours did way better. And then this was a 75 grain Hornady blister tip hollow point. It was a Hornady 75 grain hollow point bowtail match, and those did pretty well.
This is much better.
That is much better. So we know we need to go with the new primers.
Yeah.
We still had some stringing with these.
That's curious. That is so wild.
That's from the barrel heating up.
Yeah.
And this also is from the barrel heating up.
Yeah.
But once your barrel's warm and you're shooting, your groups tighten up. Or if you cool your barrel down every time, your groups tighten up too. But these are AR-15s, guys. We're not,
Yeah.
We're not trying to get super duper technical with it, even though we are. But we got to keep in mind it's an AR-15. Yours has a Yours is not free floated.
No.
Yours will typically be about a 2 MOA rifle.
And it's a fixed gas block.
It's a fixed gas block. Mine should be able to shoot at least MOA, but we're not. Even this is still going to be over MOA.
Yeah, that's over MOA.
We're going to be probably around 1.5 MOA with that.
Yeah.
Still not bad. 1.5 MOA. To put that in perspective, at 500 yards, the maximum effective range of a point target with 5.56 NATO. 1.5 MOA is going to give you still 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5 inch groups at 500 yards. Just to be able to hit center mass on a target at 500 yards with that. Very easy. Compared to the standard, like, the military shit, like the M16s, M4s, those had anywhere from 2 to 4 MOA, and you could still hit a man-sized target at 500 yards with us. We're still doing better than that. But
our little civilian rifles are shooting.
We're still doing better
pretty
than
decent.
That. Especially for the M855 rounds, because they're just intrinsically not accurate.
But I think we can do better.
I think we can do better too. So, what do you think, Steve? Do we want to try another 10-round ladder load and hone them in?
What's our next node? Do we have another node up from that one?
I'd have to look at our previous videos
and find out.
Slightly
higher pressure?
Oh, I do need to do one thing. Yeah, I don't know if we want to go any higher pressure because we're starting to crater primers.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to see what I can see on here. I'm going to put this on here. And you're about to find out why here in a second.
All right.
Okay, so what do you think about those numbers and groups, Steve?
Okay, they're better than they were. Especially the new primers.
Yeah.
New primers grouped much better. And this didn't even offer rest or anything. So I forgot about that. Like, I think if we were actually had nice rest and everything, it'd probably even group better. But
yeah, if we were proning it, we'd probably be MOA.
Yeah, but the spreads are too much still. Like,
a little bit wonky.
You've gotten as good as 7 feet per second extreme spread. So I know you're capable of getting us much closer numbers.
I would be happy with a 30 feet per second extreme spread with 5.56 just because it's a small cartridge.
Right. So the question is what gradient are we going to go at? Well, that's what we don't know.
I'm going to calculate the standard deviations on these numbers as well, and I will tag all that at the end of this video.
Tag on the mosquito.
After we're done talking here, you'll see me pop up on a computer talking about these numbers on Excel. So right now, yeah, the numbers, the extreme spreads, just looking at the extreme spreads, they're too much. They're too buku. Something we do need to work on, and now there's a caveat to this. The first time we shot those rounds, it was what? It was springtime. In case you don't, we work. So we've been working on this for 6 months.
The daggone job's getting away of all the fun.
So I think we shot them in spring. Temperatures around 60s, 70s. The second group we shot, where we got the wild extreme spreads, it was 90s out.
Yeah.
And right now
now we're back down
to 50s.
Yeah.
It's 50 something right now. I can't believe I'm in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of hyped up because I don't ever get to shoot. This is the funnest I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So back to not completely back to the drawing board. You're just going to look at the numbers.
What this was, this verified that we still have a problem, because what I did was in reloading part 3, the reloading basics part 3, I hand weighed everything. So all these cartridge cases were within 3/1000, 4/1000 of an inch of each other. Okay. As far as the trim length.
Okay.
They were all within like a 1/10 of a thousandth of a grain. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I weighed these things out. They were all within a 1/10 of a grain of each other.
Yeah.
At 20, I believe it was 92.4, 92.2 to 92.4, something like that. Don't quote me on that.
Right.
But all of them were weighed out. I'm still working on a lot of brass prep and stuff to get more cartridges ready to do that. The bullets were weighed out to like plus or minus 0.2 grain increments.
That's pretty close.
Pretty close. So we still got problems. So
Yeah.
we've shot out of a node. We need to find an accuracy node again.
Yeah.
And it could have been, we had very similar results on that ladder load too.
Yeah.
I think I want to go zero point 0.1 grain increments. We are going to run, I'm going to load up another string of ladder loads, zero point 0.1 grain increments, and then we will
Yeah.
do that.
Let's do it around our node,
Yep, around our node.
one of our nodes.
Okay, guys, we're back from the range and we're back in the office, and we're going to talk about all this data that we got. So, first thing we're going to look at, and I'm going to pull this up real quick, is this was my 75 grain loads. This was the before. Hey, puppy. This was the before when I tried the CCI primers. And this is with the Remington primers. We got a little bit better results. Not super great. I'd like this number to be closer to 30 or 40. This number closer to the teens at a minimum. But the group was good, so we can work with it. This was the first. This was the first try with the M855s. This is mine. This is Steve's, and obviously pretty bad results. I think it was the primers. Now the second try, things did get better. I'm trying to click on it, but this thing's in the way. So on the second try, my numbers went down a negligible amount. Now, that being said, I am running a suppressor. And this was the very first round shot through that suppressor to this day. So if we remove this, that's a lot better. Now, the reason that number might be higher is because of a phenomenon known as first round pops. So you have oxygen in your suppressor, and when that first round comes through, it ignites those gases that are following the bullet. It reignites them and causes a loud pop and causes an increase in velocity. So I could probably chalk that one up to first round pop. And that leaves this one right here, which is another high one. If we remove that, then we're down closer to those numbers I'd like to see. However, we did get this number for whatever reason, and that pretty much threw us off. And we did get this first round pop, which threw us off. These groups weren't super great, but you're never really going to have a truly great group with M855 or the SS109 projectiles because it has a steel penetrator. It's a multi-part bullet. So you have a lead base, a steel penetrator, and then you have a copper jacket. Well, when you have that many components in a bullet, you're going to lose accuracy because it's not all one intrinsically solid bullet. Now let's go down to Steve's. Steve's performed pretty horribly on this first one with the same primers. Now when we swap to the other primers, you can see that these numbers half themselves. And that's a good sign. So at least half the problem was those primers. And see this one up here? I was using the old primers. I would expect that number to half itself if I was using the newer primers. So we need to go back through with the newer primers and we need to shoot a new ladder load. And we need to do that 10 round ladder load, kind of focusing in around this 23.1 grain spot and 0.1 grain increments and kind of see where we're at with that. And that'll tell us a lot. And you know what? This right here for an M855 round is good enough. This right here will get you out to 500 yards, and which is the maximum effective range on a point target for the 5.56 NATO cartridge anyways. So if you get that, you're doing pretty good. I mean, you're within military specs, which is pretty loose, but I would like to be better than that. Another thing you have to take into consideration is the 5.56 NATO cartridge is a very small cartridge. What that means is that weights matter more, small increments in weights, small differentials in the weights of things matter more, and the lengths of things matter more. And overall, it's just going to be a less accurate cartridge. That's why 300 Blackout is typically less accurate than 5.56. It's more of a straight wall. It really doesn't have a shoulder, and it uses a lot less powder. But it does use what it does have going for it is it can use a lot heavier bullet. Now compare that when we were in the field, when we were at the range, we were talking about, you know, I've achieved 7 feet per second extreme spreads in 6.5 Creedmoor. That is to be expected. The reason being is because 6.5 Creedmoor has a large base with a small diameter projectile with a very steep shoulder. 223 has a small bullet with a small base and a very not steep shoulder. And when you get those steeper shoulders, you typically run slower burning powders. You have better pressure stability. You get better velocity stability, which translates into better accuracy overall. That's why a lot of people like the Ackley improved rounds. If you took a 243 round, yes, it would be accurate and it would be fast. But if you take the Ackley improved, all an Ackley improved round is you've taken that shoulder and you've fire formed it to an Ackley improved chamber with a steeper shoulder. So with the Ackley improved and that steeper shoulder, you are getting that more consistent velocity, those more consistent chamber pressures, which translates to more consistent accuracy. So you're not going to get that with 223 and 5.56 NATO. You can, but it's a lot harder. That being said, the last ladder load that I ran was for my 16-inch barreled carbine length gas system A2 style upper. And these numbers right here, my extreme spread was, I'd have to look it up, but I believe it was in the 30s. And my standard deviation was in the teens, which is about the minimum acceptable numbers that I would take for a good accuracy load. Now, these, we don't always need a good accuracy load. Sometimes good enough is good enough. We've got thousands of projectiles that we need to get loaded and into ammo cans. So, with that being said, I could consider that good enough for all intents and purposes. And then focus more on my 75 grain loads, more on some other projectiles that would provide better accuracy if we needed better accuracy. That would be my choice on how to do that. And me and Steve will consult and probably end up doing that, but at the same time, we are still going to run another ladder test, another 10 round ladder load, and just verify our results. And that should complete this series once those tests are done and we're able to get a super accurate load. I'd like to see these numbers cut in half, and I think we can get there. But for all intents and purposes, I would consider that good enough. And with that, if you've enjoyed this content today, please consider liking, subscribing, tickling that little notification icon. When you do that, it really helps the channel out. It boosts the analytics and it gets this video out to more people, which in turn helps the channel out. Another problem, and this is a little bit off topic, but another problem that we could have been having with this is the chronograph. The Caldwell chronograph is kind of a turd. I've had it for a long time. So I've went out and I spent about 180 bucks and I bought a new one. And this one's supposed to be the bee's knees. It's Bluetooth. It hooks directly to your phone. It doesn't require a cord, and it actually, via audio, calls the velocities of your shots out. So we're going to be doing some testing on this as well. However, things like this get expensive. So the more you like, the more you share this content, the more you get this stuff out there, the more views, the more I can spend money and justify my purchases on things like this, which will ultimately make the content better. I've also recently switched video editor services. So there will be a little time period where, videos might back up on quality just a little bit, but they're ultimately going to go forward as I figure out how to use this new editing software. That being said, as well, if you don't like this content, throw me a comment. Let me know what we're doing wrong. Let me know what we can do better. I would really appreciate that. Steve would really appreciate that. And we want to make quality content for you guys so we can basically share this knowledge. Also, if you like this stuff that we do with these Excel sheets and stuff, we have a whole folder full of knowledge on Dropbox. And if you join our Discord, we can help you get some of that knowledge over to you. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and dog this one off. This will be the end of this one. It is now January 24th, 2025. We've spent the better part of a year working on these. We're just busy people. And I do apologize for that. This stuff takes a long time to do sometimes. A lot of research and development, a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes to get this content out to you guys. So if you've stuck with me this far in this video, I sincerely thank you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you all. I love you. Have a good one.